Okay, let's see who we got here. Participants. Okay. This is actually a little bit different, guys. It's interesting. Zoom must have done some type of an update, but I figured out how to make you panelists. So hang on while I start to do that. Looks like we're going to have a full house tonight, so that's good. Possibly a couple of guests. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Great. I like your background.
Oh, thanks. Yep, it's sunny tropical Pennsylvania.
Love it.
Actually, I just came back from a beach trip in Virginia Beach. Yeah. So in that view, I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure it's somewhere like Bora Bora or Fiji or something, you know.
One of the super amazing places that we all wish we were.
Yep. So what I'm doing now is I'm promoting everyone to panelists. We use the webinar setup. Because of that, I have to promote everybody independently.
Yeah, no worries.
Unless there's another way to do it, I just don't know about. So we have people from all over the country.
I love it. I'm super excited.
Yep. So hey guys, while I'm doing this, Brittany Colby is from Curbio. And oh, by the way, so this is also being broadcast on my personal Facebook page live. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we generally do that. Give a little bump there. All right, I think I've got everybody who's signed on promoted. I don't see Gina yet. Normally she'll take this part over for me when she logs on. But guys, while we're waiting on the other folks, hello and good to see you. I was off last week, of course, and I guess that was Michael Arsery did his demonstration on using land voice and what's the other one?
Mojo Dialer.
Mojo Dialer. Thank you. See what happens when you go on vacation and just all the mental faculties go bye-bye. But I want to give a big shout out to Michael for doing that. Brittany, Michael's actually on our team, and from time to time we'll have somebody on our team, you know, talk about and instruct on something they're doing. It's working in the business, you know. So so I guess so if he's on, we'll say it again. If he's not, I'll get the recording. Also, guys, I sent an email out earlier just to calm some nerves. If you think back to last month's GIA monthly team meeting, I was showing you how to clone a campaign and turn it on. So I did that purposely using one of our 2-agent attraction campaigns. And so you would see what each of your recipients will be receiving too when you use that campaign. So what's funny is the last message in that campaign went out today, and the email was basically said last chance, you know, and I had probably 10 people on the team email and say, please, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll set up a call with you. So I thought it's funny because I wanted to make sure they understood the real intent of that was for them to use it for their own agent attraction purposes. But the irony is that the other end of the spectrum, it lit the fire, I guess, under a half dozen people or so, you know.
I thought you were trying to get rid of me.
Yeah. It's funny. So, okay, let me check and see who I've got here that needs to be promoted. I think everybody is promoted that's on. So, and Brittany, we've got about a minute to go. We generally start at 7:05. So let's actually, someone else just came on. Biz, there we go. Hey, Biz, good to see you. So if you'd like, we can go ahead and get started, and I'll keep track of the chat box and the logins, get them promoted to panelists. And guys, if you have a question while Brittany's going, let's let her do her thing. And if Brittany, you'll look for pauses, or if you have a natural or built-in pause, we can take questions along the way. And but other than that, go ahead and take her away.
Yeah, so I actually have a small presentation to share. Can you give me access to share?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. I'm sorry about that. I should have thought about that.
No worries.
Brittany, so you are now a co-host.
Perfect. Let me
Yep.
share my screen for you. Awesome, guys. Can you all see my screen now?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I'm super excited to talk to you all about Curbio. My name is Brittany. Like Gary said, I'm one of the partnerships managers here at Curbio. I was able to talk to Gary at the EXP Shareholder Summit and was really excited to bring this to the team and show the value of Curbio that you guys can provide to your listings.
Cool.
Awesome. So we can all agree since the beginning of time, realtors have been recommending updates and repairs to properties to get things ready to be listed. This is obviously nothing new. About 80% of America's homes are now 20 years or older, and buyers want move-in ready homes, which is why home improvement has become part of your job. Almost every agent is doing some recommendations for virtually every listing. There's a disparity now between the aging inventory of homes and yet also the desire for homes to be move-in ready and sell fast. As a modern day agent, you're always finding ways to be more innovative in this competitive landscape we see today. Finding ways to set yourself apart and provide more for your clients is critical to win more listings. In addition, you need to find more ways to help get a home move-in ready and on the market fast within the desired timeline. And it's one of the biggest challenges we see. And updates to homes really do have some really big benefits. Turnkey homes definitely are attracting more buyers. Millennials are the ones that are hitting the market more often these days. And a poll said that about 80% have said they would prefer to have no projects to do immediately after moving in or within the first 6 months. So no matter the age or the condition of the home, every listing could benefit from just some basic listing prep at bare minimum. So cleaning, decluttering, some staging, even a fresh coat of paint, or some landscaping. Just that curb appeal alone does a ton for a listing. The goal of pre-listing projects is obviously always going to be to maximize the sales price. So clients are motivated to sell for top dollar and get the greatest return that they can. So with that disparity that we're seeing between the inventory and the demand for turnkey homes, we've seen a rise in concierge services on the market. So, what is a concierge service? And I think that's probably something that comes up in many different ways within the real estate industry. So while we know that it's necessary to get a home market ready, doing some pre-listing updates, homeowners don't want to shell out the cash to make these updates. As a result, many brokers have been offering concierge services, which essentially is a financing option for clients to defer all payments till the home sells. This is becoming very attractive to sellers and real estate agents who brokers offer concierge services, and they're known to be winning more listings. So think of it this way. You're walking through a home and you're pointing out everything that needs to be changed, and it's usually never a fun process with your clients, but you can make it a lot easier for them. If you can just say, hey, let's wrap this into closing instead of asking for a $25,000 check up front. That uncomfortable conversation comes a little bit easier at that point. Concierge services are all about wrapping that financing into closing. So why wouldn't a client want to do that if they're going to make more money? But there's a catch to a lot of concierge services we're seeing. They're simply just advancing the funds to cover the cost of the home improvement projects or repairs, but it still leaves a real estate agent and homeowner stuck actually managing the home improvement projects. So coordinating all the activities, sourcing the materials, finding the contractors, things of that nature. As an agent, you already have enough on your plate, and managing clients' home improvement projects will only take away from those sales generating activities that you need to be continuing to do. So at the end of the day, while it's really attractive to defer cost, who wants to wait weeks to get contractors, spend months waiting for people to complete the work, and having general contractors schedule and reschedule, and you as the agent having to run around and catch up with them? So that's where Curbio comes in, and we're vastly different. We partner with real estate agents and are actually an exclusive partner of EXP to get their clients to listings prepped into the market with zero due until the home sells. So we're exclusively focused on home improvement projects for real estate transactions. And we only work with people represented by a licensed realtor. We know that you need to get to closing quickly with certainty and peace of mind, and we've designed our entire process around that. We want to make home improvement projects accessible for everyone selling a home. So what makes us different? We're completely turnkey. So Curbio is the licensed and insured general contractor for every project. So we take care of everything for you. Unlike other concierge services and the antiquated way of doing things, we take care of everything from start to finish. We are also completely tech powered. So we streamline the process to get listings ready for market or move-in ready. And we have full transparency through our technology app. So we actually have a web app that I'll show you guys at the end that is going to be your go-to for Curbio projects. You can manage your projects, source materials, you can schedule meetings with your project manager. It really is the catch-all for your Curbio projects. And obviously the fan favorite is the fix now, pay at closing model. Clients never have to pay anything until closing, and there's no credit checks, no interest or hidden fees. So we often get asked, what kind of projects can Curbio do? And Curbio actually stands for Curb Appeal Inside and Out. So we work hand in hand with the real estate agent and homeowner to understand the goals of selling. Whether it's a quick touch-up project or a profit-driven renovation, we marry the agent's expertise of the market and our expertise with pre-listing updates to narrow in on improvements that will add value, attract more buyers, reduce number of days on market, and maximize the ROI. The other benefit with Curbio is no project minimums or maximums. So that means the scope of work is solely determined on the amount of equity in the home. Curbio, again, stands for Curb Appeal Inside and Out. So you can think of us as your full all-in-one partner for home improvement, big or small. Curbio is truly here to be your pre-listing partner for all of your improvements. So this is the most common we see, in those homes is those pre-listing basic listing prep. Especially in the market that we've seen for the last couple of years, obviously the market is shifting. But for the last several years, we've seen these basic listing preps being more and more common. And those are just the common things that you typically ask a homeowner to do prior to taking photos of the home, whether it's cleaning, decluttering, handyman repairs, touching up the paint, fixing the floors, yard cleanup, or some just basic pest control. And here's one that we've done in Georgia. So this is an example. There was a fresh coat of paint, new flooring, some bathroom updates, and updates with the fixtures. So the as-is value was $132,000 for this home. The total project cost was $15,003, and the sale price was $213,300. So that's a profit of over $66,000, and that's an additional profit. So with $15,000 in pre-listing updates, an additional profit of $66K was brought in. So the second most common project types we do, while most homes won't require a complete remodel, many could benefit from a quick refresh to appeal to the modern buyers. So bringing those homes that are outdated just to date. That could be with basic things, painting cabinets, adding a backsplash, replacing old countertops, reglazing some tile, painting a home. Here's one in Palm Beach. We added a fresh coat of paint, some new hardware, flooring replacements, and we refreshed the exterior to make it more of that outdoor living space. So this one, the Curbio pre-listing updates got this house sold fast, and the owner put in an additional 107K in their pocket, which is huge for, you know, a total project cost of $43,000. And last but not least, those older homes with those non-cynical layouts, you know, could use a full rehab. So Curbio has got you covered with completely turnkey, efficient home improvements. The best part is the seller still doesn't pay anything until closing. This allows the seller to make the updates necessary to get the home sold without sacrificing some of the value and equity that they've spent years building. So remodels definitely require more extensive work than a simple refresh or a basic touch-up and repairs. This typically requires permits and can include layout changes, new cabinets, bathroom additions, rerouting plumbing and electric. And so, you know, this could definitely be a little bit more invasive, and Curbio is definitely your partner for this as well. We will pull the permits. We will do everything necessary to get this done correctly and bring you to that closing with peace of mind. So here's one in Orlando that we did. We added some new flooring. We did a bathroom remodel, a kitchen refresh, painting and drywall, new siding, and landscaping. This was a luxury listing. And obviously there was a ton of pre-listing updates that were executed on this home in Florida, and it sold for $710K over the original as is price. So this was one of the largest projects that we've done, but this was a great example. We now currently are doing $1 million project in Miami that's going to actually be listed for $4 million over the as is price. So for that play at closing model, it's super simple. Again, there's no fees, no interest or credit checks. It's based solely on the equity of the home. And in terms of getting paid, we keep it simple. We put a basic clause in the contract that we get paid at closing with no liens or deed of trust required or enforcements. We simply look at the equity in the home to ensure that there's enough to cover the total project cost. Curbio never takes a portion of the sale. We simply get paid like a general contractor does. Our pricing that you'll find is also very competitive with the local general contractors, and we've designed it that way so pricing isn't a barrier to work with us on projects that we want to be your partner. We have a price match guarantee. If you happen to run into similar contractor with lower pricing, we can honor that price and to keep it consistent. So we won't charge you more due to workload or seasonality. You'll get the same price for a bathroom refresh now and the next time you get one as well. So here's an idea of pricing. You know, we're really transparent with our pricing, and, you know, we provide those estimates to you guys with an actual itemized list of what is included in that pricing. You know, this is all dependent obviously on the home itself. Every home will be a little bit different based on square footage, the amount of rehab needed. But overall, our pricing is super competitive across the board. And these are just those general national averages that we're seeing. So when it comes to materials, Curbio keeps a very curated portfolio of materials in stock ready to ship. So we know what's trending in the market and what buyers want in your market. And we've curated a selection to eliminate all the decision-making and condense project timelines. So we're typically known to be about 65% faster than other general contractors. First and foremost, because we're completely tech powered, but secondly, because we do have this catalog of materials in stock ready to ship. So our materials are very high quality. We have two lines. We have a signature line that's above builder quality. And then we do have a luxury line that has some higher end stones and appliances. With that being said, if we're doing something very custom in a home, whether we're matching something that's already in the home, we can definitely still order those materials. But we have created this catalog to make sure that we're able to get condense those timelines for you guys. So let's talk a little bit more about working with Curbio and kind of the journey for you guys as agents through the process. So again, we have an entire team of home improvement consultants excited to hear from you about the pre-listing improvements you need to get market ready, no matter the size. Whether you're requesting an estimate for a listing you've won or preparing a listing presentation to win that listing, Curbio's estimates are always free with no obligation. So the HIC team, as we call them, will work with you from the estimate to the contract stage. And because they work virtually, they're available to get you started and get you ready to go. Once the project kicks off, you'll be signed a dedicated project manager who will quickly become your go-to reliable contractor for any of your listing project needs. Our project managers are full-time salaried employees and only work with Curbio projects, which means they're dedicated to getting to closing fast and reliably. And they're local to your area, so you'll be able to meet them in person if you'd like, and they will have an intimate knowledge of what the customers in your area want. We also have in-house designers on staff to help with floor plan changes and bigger renovations, and a network of subcontractors who are all handpicked and vetted through the Curbio network. All of our subs are local to your area, they're licensed and insured, and we have curated and vetted every single one of them. If you guys have contractors that you love working with and you would still love to use the Curbio model, I do have an email address that I can provide to you guys that you can give to your vendors or your contractors that you typically like to use to get vetted into the Curbio network. So you can still work with them on those projects, but our project managers will be your definite point of contact through any of our projects with us. So here's the process through Curbio. Ultimately, I'm going to show you here in a minute your portal that you will have access to. You'll receive an email that gives you a link to sign up for that. Within that portal, it's going to be your go-to. It's where you're going to be able to find marketing resources like listing presentation slides, one-pagers, case studies to share with your clients as well. If you and a client decide to move forward with a Curbio project, whether you are trying to win a listing or have already had a listing presentation or are looking to get an estimate, you'll be able to go over to the Curbio app, put in some basic information about the home. It's the address, your phone number, and the zip code, I believe. And one of our home improvement consultants will reach out to you and give you that general range estimate within 24 hours. That gives you something to go back to your client and give them that range estimate to see if you guys would like to move forward. From there, if you'd like to move forward, depending on the scope of the work, we will send someone out to do a Matterport, obviously at the mercy of your sellers on their timeline. And then from there, they will have, your home improvement consultant will have a Zoom meeting with yourself, the seller, and the HIC, and walk through that Matterport to make sure we have the full scope of work. From there, you'll get that fixed price estimate, and that is that's the price that your seller will sign the contract on. From there, usually the project can begin in a week or two, depending on permits and things of that nature. But we are definitely ready to start, and we do have the contractors ready to get the project started. So your Curbio portal, I will definitely show you in a second, but high level, it's going to be your home base for requesting estimates, tracking active projects, speaking with your PMs, browsing the materials we have in stock, as well as getting marketing materials. And last but not least, as an exclusive partner with Curbio, you guys will have the opportunity to get a $100 gift card for every general estimate that you submit to us within the first 90 days of our partnership starting today. So again, you know, our general estimates are no obligation to you, but we know as agents, once you start using Curbio and adopting it into your listings, you will continue to use this going forward. So this is just a promotion to get you guys started and get used to using the Curbio portal. I will stop there. Do you guys have any questions before I go into the portal itself?
Yep. Hey, Brittany, thanks too. I mean, that was a great presentation. I'm looking forward to the next part. I know people will have questions, and I know one of them you and I discussed at the shareholder summit was, you know, we have agents. I think, from what I understand, our team is the largest team in the company as far as states represented. We have more agents in more states than any other team, which makes sense because most teams are localized, but
Absolutely.
do you have a chart that shows which states that Curbio is in or
Yeah, I actually, let me see if I can pull it up for you real quick. I actually have a map, and I can send this out to you guys as well. It is an interactive map, which will be super helpful just because you guys are a national team. It's going to be able to show you. It's going to be able to show you all of our areas that we operate within, but you can put in zip codes specifically to make sure that we operate within that zip code before putting in an estimate. So we are in 33 markets. You know, most of the major cities, we are growing. I think we're going to launch about 10 more markets by the end of the year. And we are typically between a city center, we usually go 40 to 50 miles out of city center, depending on the city and the state and how long we've been in that area. So I will send this over to you guys, and I encourage you to take a look to make sure that we are operating within your area.
Okay. Cool. Now for the Matterport, is that something, does Curbio is that just part of the cost that Curbio covers and everything's paid for at the closing, or how does that work?
Yeah, you know, it's just part of our tech process. It would be the same if, say, you were working with a general contractor and they were just actually going out there and looking at the property, because we leverage tech. That is our way of kind of getting a full scope of work, but it is absolutely built into the price. Our estimates are free. So even if you don't do the project with us, even if we get the Matterport done, it's just part of the estimate process.
Okay. And a couple questions from the team. This is from Kay. Kay's from Texas.
Okay.
San Antonio area, I believe. San Antonio or Austin? San Antonio, right, Kay? But the question is, do you do new construction, i.e. new kitchen? I think you did mention that you can do a kitchen sort of a refurbish or a kitchen rebuild. Is that right?
Absolutely. So if there's an older kitchen that needs to be completely renovated, we can definitely do it. We don't do any true home, like new construction. With that being said, if the footprint of the house is there, we'll definitely do anything within that footprint.
Okay. Kay's also asking about sheetrock, new ceilings, drywall. I think that was probably covered in a basement redo. Like, how about redoing basements?
Absolutely. So we'll even refinish pools, basements, definitely an option as well. If the basement is there and it's something that needs to be maybe finished out, definitely we'll do that. We just won't add any true square footage, meaning we won't build onto a home.
Okay. And then everybody, if you could use the chat box. I just noticed there were some questions on Q&A. That's okay, because I just happened to see them. But so we do have an agent up in Toronto, Ontario. Does Curbio operate also up in any of the Canadian provinces, or?
We don't, but we just had a big meeting, and that was one of the things that obviously I went to the EXP Shareholder Summit, and I was telling them that's definitely a market we should be exploring, just from the sheer volume of agents who have asked about us up there.
Yeah, there's Toronto alone. It's the largest market in Canada, and you know, obviously it's very close to the US, and it's very English, very you know, it almost feels like you're in another state when you're up there. Please forgive me, Canadians, for saying it. I used to live in London, by the way, London, Ontario. So I know what it feels like when people say it's just like the US, and it's really not, but there are similarities. But that would be an awesome market because it's so huge, and
Absolutely.
the road system's pretty good up there. But in any case, so down in, I'm looking at the map here of Washington, D.C. We do have, I'm trying to think, we have a pretty good concentration of agents in Virginia and Florida, Texas, and really all the other states. I mean, Oregon, Washington State, of course, California. There we are. Okay. So it looks like you're down around Richmond, up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so we have pretty good coverage here. Let me see if I can, here's Orlando, but I could probably zoom out so you can see kind of the Florida footprint. Obviously, here we are in Atlanta, on the outskirts of that as well. And then obviously all the major cities in Texas. Let's see, Phoenix, Denver, California, definitely, San Diego, Los Angeles, San Jose, San Francisco, Sacramento. We also go up into Portland, Seattle. So definitely have a pretty large footprint, especially around the major metros. Nashville. We just launched Virginia Beach, Jersey Shore. Those are newer markets as well. So constantly growing. We're in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Definitely, I can send you guys a list, but this map is definitely really the true source because you can break it down by zip code.
Yeah, well, that helps a lot. I just want to tell everybody, several years ago, I was involved with a project in California where there were several areas that were, the elderly population was very large. I mean, these folks had owned their homes 30 or 40 years, and they were getting, of course, approached all the time from flippers. And the idea was, why don't we as realtors help the owners sort of flip their own home, help them remodel it, bring it to the current, standards and increase the value, sell it for more profit. At the time, the first of Curbio wasn't there yet. Curbio came along after the fact, and we were so glad to see that because we were the ones that had to take the responsibility of selecting the contractors on behalf of the owners, or at least representing them. And what they would do is, say, just like you, they would take responsibility for material labor cost, and then at the end of the project, they would actually split the increased profit. The contractor and the owner, of course, the realtor would get a much more expensive, more valuable listing. And that's what then Curbio came along. We thought, well, this is the answer, because we don't want that liability. Realtors are realtors. We're not remodelers, So I got to tell you guys, this is an excellent way to work with homeowners who've had a house for a long time that needs, if it had upgrades, it would sell for more. I mean, I would introduce this to them, and think of the flippers too. Flippers that just don't want to deal with contractors. I mean, here's an option right here. It's even better than working with our contractors. You have to pay every single week, So in any case, I just wanted to put that plug in there because I had personal experience with this. Okay, Morgan, want me to keep going with questions? You want to go into the second part?
Let me show you the app, and then from there we can definitely continue with the questions. This might answer some of the questions that may come up as well.
Okay.
So this is the Curbio app. This will be something that you'll get an email later to register for. This is going to be your home base. So on this right-hand side is that information I was talking about to schedule that general estimate call with our home improvement consultants. Very basic information. If you have photos, you can definitely add them, but it's not a requirement. On this left-hand side, this resources tab will be loaded with case studies, listing slides that can be edited, and one-pagers just to educate your sellers on Curbio and how the process works. And then this is where the magic happens in these active projects. On this right-hand side, you see that social media timeline. This is great. This is where you're going to be able to get updates about the project. You're not having to run back and forth. You will also get a text message if the project manager puts an update in here as well, which is great because you can reply back via text. And you're still in constant contact with the project manager, but you're not doing the running around, which is key here. And so in this side, he's pretty much giving all the updates, sending pictures, making sure you are informed, things of that nature. On this left-hand side, you can see all these key dates. So when you start a project with Curbio, we are going to give you a timeline. We are going to tell you how long the project is going to take, and things of that nature. And so then all of these dates will be included in here as well, just for a reminder for you as you're getting closer to that listing stage. Okay. Below that is all the key players. So your project manager, your home improvement consultant, obviously the owner and yourself, all the information is all included within the portal. So you're not going to have to run around and find that information either. And obviously all the key documents are here as well for you guys to have. The seller will also have an access level of this when they start a project. With that being said, any kind of financial information we've talked about with the agent, because we do leverage the agent's expertise in the market to understand what they planned on listing the home as, the the pre-renovation value, as well as what they're planning on listing the home as post-renovation. Because again, that post-renovation value is actually what we're going to base the equity and the amount we have within the home to play with as far as a project. We do have some machine learning as well. So we're going to leverage your expertise as well as our expertise and make sure that all the numbers make sense. And up here at the top, you can schedule a call with your project manager, as well as that material selection we are talking about. So right here, you can see they're broken out by room and by size. So we're not going to show a seller things that we don't have in stock ready to ship, things that are not on trend within the market. And we do have catalogs based on your markets. So we do have internal employees here at Curbio who are on our design team and our material specialist team who are constantly watching the markets to make sure that we are on trend with what's going on in the markets. And we have those materials that are going to make the home sell. But we're just going to show them a couple of finishes. We're not going to show them 25 refrigerators or 25 pieces of tile. We're going to show them a few and then have them pick from that. So it streamlines the process for you as the agents, them as the seller. They're not overwhelmed with that picking process, especially because they're trying to put this home on the market, which we all know once they get overwhelmed, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So we've made it as simple as possible for you as the agent and them as a seller to maximize their sales price, but not have to do a whole lot of lifting on their end. But yeah, that was the last thing I needed to show you guys. Happy to continue to answer more questions based off of what you've seen and what I've been able to communicate with you guys today.
Okay. Well, guys, I have a really good idea here. I know in some boards, we're not allowed to put a listing up if it's not ready. We can't put a listing up and say, you know, hey, coming 2 months from now, 123 Main Street, and show them everything. But I think what we might be able to do is, if we have this feature right here you're showing us, the app, where we have the project updates, we can maybe do some Facebook posts, say, not give an address, not promote a specific property, not give an address. but
Yes,
just
ma'am.
say, coming soon to, you know, Arlington, Arlington. Hey, Gina, can you help me out with a mute there, if you don't mind?
Nothing. I'm in a class right now.
Sorry, there we go. In any case, you can mention a neighborhood and say, coming soon to, whatever the neighborhood is, and show them the updates. And then when the listing's ready, then you can put an actual listing. But I think to build, what I'm getting at, guys, is use this to build expectations and also get people excited, build excitement. And that was an old trick we used to use in selling homes until the MLS started saying, well, you really can't put it out there until it's ready. I don't know why they said that, because it was a great technique, Okay, let me get back to the questions here. Let's see. So Arthur, somebody's asking if we can get the slides, the slide deck.
No, absolutely. And, as part of our partnership as well, there's ongoing webinars that you guys will get access to. You'll get emails about those webinars. So stay tuned and watch them. A lot of them are about how to position us in listings, the top 5, the top 5 pre-listing updates we're seeing in specific markets, things of that nature. Okay.
And Tom Walls, he's from South Florida, but I know he also has some business up in Ohio. He's asking if you're in Cleveland. I know Cleveland's a big market, so you have a presence there? Do you recall, or?
Not yet, but Ohio is definitely coming soon.
Okay. This is from Targan. If you're in a metro area, would you go outside of the map area or only within? So I think you said there's like a range 40 to 50 miles.
Yeah, it truthfully depends on how far out of that range we are. That's why that zip code tool is super important, because sometimes we are pretty far out. Some of our markets were already 150 miles out of city center. So it truthfully just depends on the market itself. And that tool will be helpful. Now, if we're right on the edge, there's a very good possibility that you could, put in your estimate and we'll have the availability to do it. It just really depends on obviously how far out of that scope or that area that we are. Yeah.
Okay. And that's from Thomas Roscoe. He's up in the Bay Area. And he's asking for the hours of operation and how long does it typically take to get an estimate?
Yeah, so, we pride ourselves in giving you guys that general range estimate within 24 hours. Our HICs, just full transparency, are in DC, so they are on the East Coast. So if you put something in late in the day, you're probably not going to hear from him until the next day. But our goal is always to get you that general estimate within 24 hours.
Okay, well, this is pretty awesome. But for the agents here, most people here, Brittany, are agents, and we actually work with not just owner occupants, but also investors. And some of the folks on are actually investors themselves.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, so for the agents, I mean, there's really no cost to us. And in fact, it sounds like if we can get people, some of our client base engaged, we get a little a gift as a result of that too.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have listings, I just encourage you, if you have listings or you're going to a listing presentation, or even if you are an investor and you're looking to put in an offer in on a home, granted, we can't do anything until you're the actual owner of the home, but go ahead and put in an estimate. Get that general estimate, see what it is, as far as the range. That might give you an opportunity to kind of see, how much the project cost will be. I'll say that Curbio will never be the cheapest. And I'll say that because obviously we are providing a fully turnkey service. So we're never going to be the cheapest general contractor you see out there because we're not cutting corners. We're doing it the right way. But you are getting a premium product. But we do still get paid like a general contractor. So it could work for investors as well. I know several investors that use us. We do not work with hard money loans just because of the terms of the loans are so short. But outside of that, any other investments, I'm happy to work with.
Okay, well, I can definitely see this working on when you're talking about flipping, like the house in Florida, that spread was pretty tremendous. The one that went from 1.25 up to 1.9 something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually have one big one going in DC, and I believe we also have another pretty large one going on the West Coast as well. So agents have started to catch on, like, hey, we can do these bigger projects because there's no maximum. And so even for those really luxury listings, granted, it might take a little bit longer, obviously, because we're, having to source materials and things of that nature, but it's definitely a great option for even, the big ones, as well as the small ones. We're just doing some landscaping, painting the outside, even power washing the outside of the house, just giving it that curb appeal.
Cool. Okay, let's see who we got on here. Some of the markets I know, Randy's definitely down in South Florida. So I'm sure you're down in, we saw that. That's right. Miami and the Lauderdale and all that. So
absolutely.
Yep.
We were just actually recently down there. We were at the Miami Realtors. They had an event last week, and one of our marketing girls was down there at the event.
Yep. I saw Tampa Bay. So I'm in Inglewood. Actually, I'm not there now. Actually, I will be there next week. I'll be back in Inglewood, which is just south of Sarasota.
Okay.
It might be just outside the range there, but
I think it's just a little bit outside the range. Yeah.
It's we're down where pretty much everybody owns a boat, and we see manatees every day. So,
love it.
Yeah. Let's see, Land O'Lakes. That probably would be covered because of the Orlando area. I mean, that was a pretty wide swath, So
yeah. Let me see if I can probably pull it back up for you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Close to Orlando, is that what you?
Yeah, I know I've been there. I've taught class. I just can't remember exactly where it is relative to the areas between. There's Lakeland. Let's see if I can. Hey, Arthur, he does see it. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
It's covered. Yeah. I knew it was in that range because I've lived there and taught there, I know where Wesley Chapel is. Yep. So you go all the way up to Spring Hill. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I think this actually just recently got extended. This looks more than, and that's why it's so important to use the map, because sometimes we bump. So like Sarasota, let's see, we stop like right above Sarasota. So that's definitely coming soon for sure.
Well, that's definitely one of the best areas to be in. So I'm right below Venice.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, cool. Now, as far as, I know you guys really have, I mean, you've been around for a couple of years, but it looks like you've expanded really nicely. And I'm gathering you're probably doing it very strategically too. Just like anything, you don't want to, you grow too fast, sometimes you're gonna have problems, but what are some of the other, you're looking at any of the secondary markets, or is it the primary, like the top 50 or top 100 MSAs?
Yeah, I would say those top 50 MSAs that we see in real estate, really, we talk about those NFL cities, which we're pretty much in most of them. Jacksonville, I believe, is coming soon as well. We just launched in Charlotte, in Raleigh, but we are looking to expand in obviously South Carolina because it's kind of just the natural progression. Most people in Charlotte are also licensed in South Carolina. So I hear that a lot. But another way to get updates, so we do have a workplace in EXP, so definitely join that workplace and get those updates, because there's our marketing girls are in there all the time, answering questions and things of that nature. So it's a good source, especially when we're launching new products and things of that nature. You guys will get email updates, but also in that workplace is a good place to find them.
Okay. Let's see, Kay's asking, on the appliances, do you get any special pricing on appliances because of like volume discounts?
We do have some national providers that I know we are partnered with. To be honest, I'm not sure who they are. So I think we do get a good deal, just because sheer volume, and the partnerships we have with just those national brands.
Yeah. Okay. Now, as far as the slides, everybody here will get a recording of this video presentation, but as far as the slides, if you do want to share them, you have, Beverly's out this week. We've got my email. If you could send it to my email, I'll get them the person doing the email tomorrow in Beverly's office. I'll make sure she has that. There, but really the recording for anybody wanting to show this to your clients, which is what Kay's talking about. I mean, I think this recording itself is probably a pretty good thing to show if you want to do that,
Absolutely. And I would love, so we have tons of marketing materials at your disposal as well. So I will share those. Gary, I'll send you an email with that link as well. There's tons of things you guys can co-brand. You can market this on your social media. We have video testimonials. On our website, you can go through and find all of the different, we have lots of case studies. As you start doing projects with Curbio, we also have templates for you to create your own case studies and kind of highlight the Curbio projects that you have completed, to kind of show that to your clients as you're building your business out as far as using Curbio. Obviously, always showing clients several different options. When you're at a listing presentation, showing them their as-is value, but also being able to show them what they could make. It's their biggest investment that they have. So especially when you're talking about that senior community, they've spent, the last 20, 30 years in their home. It's obviously going to be outdated, and showing them that if they do just a little bit of work to their home, bring it to date, how much more they can make. Obviously there's going to be those that just want that as is value, but as the market is shifting and people are so used to just selling as is, getting above market, getting those multiple offers on the home, getting above listing price, having this option to say, hey, we can still get that price that we are getting, a year ago. If you just do a couple things, is a great way to kind of show your expertise in the market.
Yeah. Hey, from Canada, and it's Princess Sanusi in Toronto. How will they find out if and when Curbio is going to be able to come into the Canadian? It's very similar. I mean, I know all about the financing up there, and it's different banking laws, and real estate is more strict in Toronto than it is even in the surrounding Ontario province. But still, it's very, very similar to what we're used to in the States. So how do is that something that's posted to communicators? How do they find out when it's going to come up?
Yeah, you guys will definitely get email updates on new markets that we're launching, but our workplace, our EXP workplace is definitely a great opportunity for you guys to get those live updates. I would follow it. and just be able to, especially, you know, in Canada, if we do launch in there, that will definitely be something that we are announcing in a workplace.
Yeah, Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal would probably be the first three markets you'd want to approach, you know, but.
Yeah.
But I guess I could say this publicly, people who've been in Canada, lived in Canada, know Quebec, they tend to think of themselves as like they're their own country. So, you know, it's funny, it's completely different, but beautiful city, unbelievable. But the population centers are going to be, you know, clearly, you know, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. So
Absolutely. I mean, I would totally be on board for Curbio to go there because then I can travel. So definitely on board. Something I'll continue to advocate for. I had tons of EXP agents at the shareholder summit ask about Canada in general. So, you know, more to follow on that. Hopeful in the future. That's definitely an option for us.
Yep, wonderful people too. So as far as the process now, so we can go in the workplace. And it's literally, if we go into workplace, we just search for Curbio. That's all we got to do. And that's okay.
So yeah, so our workplace is going to be in there. There's a couple different ways that you guys are going to be able to submit estimates, full transparency, because EXP is one of our partners. Since we have a corporate partnership, we do have a EXP landing page that just has where you can get the general estimate form. But you guys do, since we've partnered at the team level, have access to that portal where you'll be able to kind of do everything in a one-stop shop. Either way is going to get you there the same, you know, get you through the same process, but you guys just have several different avenues because you guys are an EXP team and we do have that corporate partnership as well.
Okay. Let's see, anything else I can think of? Oh, how about like Honolulu, Hawaii?
I hope, you know, I hope soon. You know, that would be a great place. You know, I think there's a couple markets. Ohio is definitely on the radar, Jacksonville for sure as well. You know, I think there's a few more coming up. New York is the one that is actually coming up very soon. We are in the final stages with New York. So I think there is going to be, I think you're going to see a lot more areas popping up with Curbio. You know, we've launched, I think, about 10 markets this year. I think we have at least 5 to 10 more that we're going to be launching this year by the end of the year. So we are growing rapidly this year. We also have, just throw this out there, all this stuff is pre-listing. And we get asked very often if we're ever going to go to the buyer side of things. As of this point, no, but we are launching in any week now. It's our inspection app. So it is a native app. It's going to be in the App Store. There's going to be rollouts of new updates in this app, and it's going to make it very easy for you guys to also get estimates to that app as well. But for now, it's going to be based on inspections. This is where you'll be able to actually upload a buyer's inspection. You will get real-time estimates on all of the line items on that inspection. So this is going to be great for a negotiation tool. If you're a buyer's agent, it's also going to be great if these are items that need to be completed, because you can definitely at the bottom, it'll say, you know, get estimate, and one of our HICs will already know what you're looking at to get completed. So it's a great way. Again, that's that full transparency in pricing, because the pricing is going to be listed out for you to kind of see what those items are going to cost.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking of all kinds of possibilities here going forward, you know, as far as projects go and a change in economy. I think this is a great advantage for the agents to have to separate themselves from the crowd, especially with our exclusive arrangement between EXP and Curbio. Oh, hey guys, Gina put out there, if you look on the chat box, the link for the Curbio workplace page. And we can copy that if you want to go and copy that and plug it in. Now, is anybody right now working with somebody who you think would benefit from this? Arthur sent a request to join already. So yeah.
Love it.
We do our classes we open them up to, they don't have to just be on our team. Any agent, anywhere, in any company actually can be in there. And you do work with, because I think when you guys first came on the scene, I was with KW and we were in Santa Barbara at the time, and you were already popping up. I don't know if it was up in the Bay Area or down in LA, but any agent. So in other words, there's agents on here that are not even an EXP, and that's okay, right? They can work.
Absolutely. So on it, any agent that is not an EXP agent can go to the regular Curbio website and put in an estimate request. We are 100% agent connected. So homeowners can't come to us directly, but if you have a homeowner that is looking to get some pre-listing updates, definitely feel free to go over and get an estimate.
Okay. And it's okay to share, because they're closed projects, like the slides that show the remodeling examples, the case studies, we can share that with any client.
Absolutely. Yeah. We value that full transparency in the pricing, and to really showcase the work that we've done in the past. These are real projects. And if you go to our Curbio website, there's actually a ton more. We update those regularly to, highlight what we're doing as the market is shifting as well, because that's obviously important to make sure that we have case studies that are up to date on what we're seeing in the market. Because as you know, the last 2 years are probably not going to look like what the next 2 years are going to look like.
Okay. Yeah, that's what the author is saying. He said the reason he's interested in the slides is for listing presentations, So
Absolutely.
I think I don't want to get into a big discussion about the economy. We've already discussed that on a couple of meetings, but clearly everybody now agrees, we're absolutely in a correction, and technically speaking, we're in a recession. Question is we don't know how long, wide, deep. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Exactly.
Yep. So for me, the answer is why worry about guessing? Why not just prepare? Because think of it, this is something that there's no downside. You can't go wrong. It can only help you, no matter what the economy's doing. So
yeah, and I think the last couple of years it was a lot harder sell to sellers because they were seeing what was happening in the market. They were just like, my house is going to sell as is. But now it's a great time to start educating those sellers, like, hey, we're not in the same market we were a year ago. If you do this, you can still get that price that you were going to get a year ago. But as is, probably not going to get that price that you were going to get.
Yep, that's exactly right. So the homeowners themselves, they've got to stand out right from the rest of the crowd. Your
Absolutely.
house.
And I think that's something that we haven't had to see in the market. And, I would say agents and sellers alike were really kind of spoiled because they were doing a ton of work. Obviously, agents were doing a lot of work, but they weren't having to put in as much effort into selling a home because they were just selling. So this is a great opportunity to kind of highlight your skills as a seller's agent and show different options. Those as-is values versus those post-renovation values.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what, you definitely got to, I know one of our EXP agents, he's not on our team, but he sold one of my friend's houses. This is before now I've got 2 agents in the area where my friend lives, unfortunately, but so we missed out on that deal. But he was an EXP agent. His name was Craig, and I can't remember his last name, but I've met him a few times. I mean, he really pulled out all the tricks in the book. He literally did the steam cleaning of my friend's carpeting himself. The agent did that, right? To help keep costs down and get that price up. It was just one of those big, huge, giant house. I mean, we're one of the biggest houses I've seen. And it was divorced and nobody wanted to put any money into it. And I tried to tell him, I said, look, Ray, I can't sell it for you. I don't have a license here, but I'm telling you right now, you have got to make some upgrades. I mean, cabinet door and drawer fronts were coming off. It's crazy to say this because the house was big and beautiful, pool, the whole 9 yards, but nobody cared anymore. And I thought, Ray, you're gonna lose a lot of money if you sell it as is. Just in any case, he found the agent. Turns out he's EXP, and the guy did all the coordinating and everything, to get that thing fixed up. So he's not my hero. He's my EXP hero. Hopefully, I get him on the team. See if we can get him on the team.
No, absolutely. Actually, we did a study, and it's about 100 hours that we save agents using Curbio when it comes to managing projects. So those bigger projects specifically, You know, agents are typically running around finding the contractors, sourcing the materials, running to Home Depot. The amount of time they're on the phone with the seller, the agent, and having it all in one place, being able to talk to just a project manager, not having to talk to multiple trades, things of that nature, really does save you guys a ton of time.
Okay. Hey, Bonetta Hubbard, she's up in Northern Virginia. She's asking for the would you mind typing the link in for the app in the chat box, or just do a cut and paste?
For the map?
I think, well, the app, I think the app where you go online and you can.
Yeah.
submit a
So,
request.
yeah, hold on one second, actually.
Okay.
Well, because I sent it to, that's actually coming in that email tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's in there. I can see, let me see if I can pull it up real quick for you guys and put it in there as well. Let me see. But yeah, also I wanted to show you this as I'm looking for that. I will give you guys access to this marketing materials as well. So as you're talking about, even if you're not EXP agents, this is something that you have access to. You can actually go to the Curbio website and pull this up. It will say, do you want some marketing materials? You put in some basic information and it's going to pull this. These are all materials, social posts, templates, videos that you guys have at your disposal to help educate the sellers as you're going through this, you know, using us. Also, there's print materials. There is things that you can use. I think there's postcards that you can get printed, things of that nature. So tons of materials. We update these as we go as well. So definitely an option there. Let me see. Sorry, let me try and pull up this email that I sent to Beverly. Possibly. There it is. All right, so here is the link to get started. So you also receive an email tomorrow as well, but this is the registration link. So if you guys would like to, definitely hop over, register for your portal, and you can start putting in those estimates.
Okay. Excellent. So Kay, this could be something for the property we discussed earlier. The client with the half acre and could put more units in there. You know, it might be worth just mentioning to them. How about that? So that was Kay from San Antonio that was asking a couple of questions.
Yeah, he's a contractor, so I don't know if he'd go for that. But
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
but my other client needs it desperately if I can get her to let go of her control factors.
Yeah. There you go.
And, you know, definitely leverage the Curbio team and the expertise in, you know, design and things of that nature. Don't feel like you guys have to educate your clients on the design process and things like that. We do have material specialists that will pop in when you guys are talking, once you guys get through, you know, the contracting phase with the seller, to be able to help support that. I like to always say Curbio is not going to allow your seller, even if they're an unruly seller who thinks that poop brown walls are going to make their home sell. We're not going to let them do that because we don't get paid at closing either. So we have some skin in the game when it comes to the design and making sure that everything is on trend and the home is going to sell fast, because we pride ourselves in making sure that homes are selling about 50% faster than those who don't have the updates.
Okay. All right. I'm just looking at my notes here. Okay. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, I've known about Curbio for some time now, several years, and I've only heard good coming back from. I've never heard anybody ever say anything negative about that. It's all been positive. Even at the shareholder summit, pretty much green check marks all across the board. So, you know, this is an easy thing to do. Just think of it as another tool in your toolbox that you can use. Imagine sitting down with a listing agent who's been told maybe from other agents or other investors saying, hey, you could redo your kitchen or redo your bathrooms, and they're thinking of all the, you know, if anybody's ever remodeled, has anybody here ever remodeled a kitchen or a bathroom? You know, it's you think it's going to go a certain way, and it doesn't. It takes longer, costs more money. And here you've got a company that does all that screening and vetting for you. you know? And I don't know, I'm just thrilled about it. So, hey guys, we're at, or past the 8 PM Eastern mark. Yeah, Kay says, yes, it's a nightmare. Guys, if you have more questions, please chime in. Brittany's a guest and we want to be respectful of her time too. But I'd say while we've got Brittany on, if you have questions, now's the time. Otherwise, you can post them on the workplace page. That's from Melanie. Melanie's also from Kay's area in Texas. Author says thank you. And so if you guys could maybe just give Brittany a hand raise or clap or a type in the chat box a thank you, because this was nice for her to do this on her own time, by the way. So, you know.
No, it's great. And honestly, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them. We do also have, like I said, the workplace. We have several girls that are constantly popping in. We do have office hours with EXP as well. So a great time to be able to pop in, you know, to the world and be able to talk to them in that setting as well. But we always have resources for you available. If you decide that you need some more information, myself or Emily, she's one of our coworkers, does one-on-one consults with agents. So if there's some more in-depth questions that you have that you just haven't had time to ask, please feel free to reach out to me.
Okay. Well, everybody's saying thank you. Oh, says thanks, Brittany. This is from Rob Lane. Now I just need to come to Charlottesville, VA, and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Oh yeah. So you're about an hour. If you're in Richmond from city center, you're maybe an hour, 15 minutes from Charlottesville, but from the surrounding area of Richmond, it's straight shot on 64, just about an hour away. And Charlottesville is a great market, you know?
Yeah, you know, I think as we get into a state, it's a lot easier for us to start expanding into other markets. It's something we see, you know, pretty regularly, because once we have that license, it's a lot easier for us to start expanding.
Yep.
A lot of it is based off our partnerships. So, you know, make some noise in that workplace and tell them where you would like to see us go. It's a good opportunity for us to hear from our agent partners where, you know, our work is necessarily needed.
Yeah. And we do have agents, by the way, that do work. They have multiple licenses in different locations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
no, that's fantastic.
You know what? Actually, Lisa, I can't remember. Did you actually? I can't remember. Did you take the exam for Hawaii? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. I'll have it done. I have to schedule it. It was on my list of things to do today to just get it scheduled so that the drop dead date is there, because I'll be in Oahu in 26 days.
Wow.
So I would like to have my license at that point, and then meet with people while I'm there. And then I come home and then I'm in Maui.
Nice.
Absolutely. I was born on Maui.
Oh, I'm from Maui. Oh my gosh, where did you live?
I actually grew up, well, I spent until I was about 6 or 7 in Kihei.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, so my grandpa was a dentist there for a pretty long time, and then he retired and we kind of moved back to the mainland, but that was my home for a long time. My mom went to high school there, so did my dad. So
I want to spend as much time as possible there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let me do one more quick check here. I know there's 3 more. Thanks, Brittany, for sharing your email address too.
Of course. Yeah. You know, feel free to reach out to me. Any questions you guys have, happy to support you. Cameron will also be a good resource. I will introduce her via email. She is also one of our account managers here, so you might hear from her from time to time as well.
Okay. Well, I certainly appreciate this, and I think everybody feels the same way. This is definitely normally we're teaching how to flip homes and things like that, but this is an integral part and a great value add. I mean, it just makes our jobs a lot easier, so because we get a lot of times people wanting us to be the GC,
or front the money. I've heard that pretty often too.
Oh, yeah.
Agents are fronting the money for these projects and being the GC and doing everything else. So, this kind of takes everything off your plate and still allows you to do those projects and offer that service. So definitely happy to come back in the future. Have tons of other things I'm happy to share with you guys. If there's ever anything I can provide or any sort of resources, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And for everybody, next week, we're going to talk about joining a local RIA group or forming a workshop. The week after that is, her name is Jennifer Beatles, and she is an investor agent who moved from the great Northwest up in Seattle area down to, I think you're Phoenix, Arizona. And I had her interviewed on a podcast, and I thought I need to have her come and teach a class because she's another, it's hard. I very rarely find people that have done what I've done the way I've done it, and she's done it the exact same way. And she's coming back from like a 9-week vacation, so she's obviously doing quite well. So that's the 15th, and on the 22nd, we're going to go over the letter campaign in great detail. Then the end of the month, on the 29th, Jay Connor is going to talk about private money, but not the way the guy from Kentucky was talking about it. This is on a much more smaller personal scale, like it's an alternative to traditional banking. So make sure you invite people to these classes and you're on yourself. And we'll see you Wednesday night for the Agent Attraction Mastermind. If you guys could be on that, I sent a message earlier about that. And we'll see you then and see you next Monday. So have an awesome week, guys.
Thank you.
And set up your strategy calls. I got a few people set them up today when they got scared with the email that went out about the last chance or something. That was funny. But in any case, yeah, set those calls up. Let's keep the ball rolling. Our team, we're doing well, guys. The numbers are actually, we're going up the charts. And it's you guys putting those numbers on the board. So let's keep it going, Sound good?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
time for cinnamon sugar nut roll or something like that. So. Okay, guys.
Thank
see
you.
next week.
Thank you.
Take care of yourselves. God bless.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.